When beginning on a journey, a roadmap is helpful. Being able to plan your route, anticipate stops, and pit stops makes for a more successful trip. Effectively integrating digital literacy into our lesson planning process is also a journey, which starts with a plan, a roadmap, or in this case, a framework for integration that guides us as we move forward. Here's a snapshot of the research-based framework we suggest. In a moment, we will take a brief look at each of the 7 steps involved in effective integration, but first, does this framework remind you of another process you are using to create your lesson and unit plans? If you guessed the process of backward design, you would be correct, although the framework for digital literacy integration builds upon backward design's 3-step process of identifying desired results, learner outcomes, determining acceptable evidence of learning via assessment, and planning learning experiences and instruction by lesson planning and unit planning. The greatest similarity is that each focuses first and foremost on the desired learner outcomes and building all instruction and activities around achieving those outcomes. As we review each component of the framework, ask yourself, how will the technology I introduce help students to arrive at the intended learning outcome and meet the instructional goal? How is the student going to use the technology to apply learning and demonstrate conceptual mastery? And remember, students must always be at the center of the process. We are never using technology for technology's sake. It should always be purposeful. And also keep in mind that this diagram is cyclical intentionally, forcing the user to cycle back and always ending up at the attainment of the instructional goal as the measure of success. Let's take a look at the cycle itself and how each component builds to ensure effective digital literacy integration. First, the overarching goal is always to design your instruction to ensure the meeting of the instructional goal. Second, identify instructional approaches to best assist the learner in reaching the instructional goal. This may vary from class session to class session due to factors such as the students you have in your class, their mindset in relation to digital literacy integration, your mindset in relation to digital literacy integration, your TPAC, and of course your program resources, to name a few. Third, you will want to seek out the best tool to help enhance the experience of the learner in mastering the instructional goal. How, might you ask? Think about what tools you have gathered. Ask your peers about tools they have had success with. Check out the Sabe C&I PD Center professional development opportunities. Contact the Sabe's PS PD Center digital literacy team. Reach out to the Adult Education Network in Massachusetts and beyond. There are some great things happening in programs across the state in relation to digital literacy. Fourth, assess the contribution to instruction. Check and double-check that the tool chosen contributes to the instructional goal. Fifth, are there constraints that are not able to be overcome, and what are they? If there is not a workaround for a particular tool, what other tools are there that present fewer barriers? Identifying constraints is not an opportunity to abandon your digital literacy integration efforts. Be realistic in terms of your assessment of the tool and be open to seeking others. Sixth, determine what the instruction will look like. Build a solid lesson plan outlining the tool usage and integration into the overall lesson. And seventh, you'll find yourself back on the instructional goal. Has it been met? This is a circular process with no end. It is ongoing. Critical to this process, and any process where continuous improvement and supporting student learning outcome is the goal, is reflection. It is literally the central focus of this framework. It is also important to note that you need not wait until the end of the process to reflect. This aspect of lesson planning and instructional design should be occurring at each step of the process, checking and double-checking to be sure the instructional goal is the focus of the planning, documenting what worked, documenting what didn't work and why, and what could be done differently the next time around. The integration of digital literacy is not finding a fun tool and building a lesson around it. It really should never be that. Digital literacy integration is the thoughtful addition of appropriate technologies designed to support and enhance student learning. In doing so, we are also providing students with a level of comfort when presented with digital tools that may be unfamiliar. Having been successful in your class, they will have the confidence to tackle new tools and tasks they will come upon in academic, work, home, and social environments. In our techno-saturated society, these skills that help our students to find, evaluate, organize, create, and communicate information are no longer handy to have. They are required, mandatory, critical life skills. Your success in integrating digital literacy tools will depend upon your mindset, your attention to your TPAC, and by accessing a roadmap or framework to guide the process. As you move forward in the Going Mobile PLC, you will be introduced to many tools, applications, and implementation strategies that will help you to achieve your integration goals. Have fun and happy integrating.